This is the Ready Set Podcast, and here's your host, me, Joe Persinger. Hey, how was your week, you fucks? Happy 4th of fucking July. Wow! Hey, Klaus, you mind killing that music for me? Thank you, sir. I know, I'm a little late this week. My bad. Well, we've got a Costanza-style show for you today, or this week. It's short, it's stocky, it's stingy, a little petty, and like always, I'm not holding back. Well, what do we have for you this week? Well, the asteroid update makes a comeback after its banishment from the podcast. We've got another Florida man using food as an assault weapon. Disney is so uncreative, they have to sow discord in order to sell these live remakes. And Chinese authorities are banning the Beijing Bikini, whatever that is. And in the staff report, a biracial artist pulls out of a racist... Wait, what? Oh, pulls out of a racist festival, and a trans actor, or what I like to call a shim, sounds off about being in Spider-Man. And I have a few thoughts. This is your one-stop shop current events and politics podcast. If society's a joke, then we're just here for the first set. Are you ready? Set podcast! All right, well, if you're wondering why the voices or the sound is so different right now, it's because I just figured out that I had to turn the on button for my microphone. Anyway, enough with this behind-the-scenes crap. Let's get to the asteroid update. All right, so, like I said, sorry about being a little late here. So here we go. July 2nd, 5:30 a.m. Standard Time. The name, 2019 MJ2, an asteroid traveling at 20,500 miles an hour at a paltry, is that the right word? Whatever. It's 104 feet in diameter. And it was basically about 4.3 million miles from the Earth's center.
Just a bit outside.
I don't even know what that means. 4.3 million miles from the Earth's center? What does that even mean? Whatever. Fun fact, this asteroid has been known to pass by Jupiter. All right. Let's see. So the next one, would be later that afternoon at 1:04 Standard Time on July 2nd, 2019 MD1. A little guy, 95 feet, but traveling at 21,200 miles an hour, and was 2.4 million miles from the Earth's core. What? Hey guys, pick a fucking lane. Is it the center or the core? Just pick. Yeesh. So then, there was a few days ago at 3:06 a.m. July 7th Standard Time, 2016 OF, which is 406 feet, as big as the Great Pyramid of Giza.
That's a huge bitch.
Well, this bastard's traveling at 18,900 miles an hour and is, like them all, about 3 million miles from the Earth's core or the center, whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Just a bit outside.
I guess that'd be a ball, Greg. But this asteroid will be doing an encore as it will pass Earth again in June 2022. Let's see. So July 7th at 10:12 a.m. Standard Time, 2016 N056, traveling at a speed of I'm an idiot. Traveling at a speed of 27,300 miles an hour. Wow! At 144 feet long. 27,300 miles an hour. That's like me driving down the Interstate 94 through the Chicago suburbs. Okay, that was horrible. At a distance of, get this, 115,000 miles. Wow! Holy fuck, Greg! You just threw a strike! For reference, that's about 4 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. So, yeah, it's a little close, but not going to hit us. July 7th at, let me turn my volume down here. July 7th at 11:36 p.m. Standard Time, 2019 ME3, a size of 279 feet, which is as tall as the Statue of Liberty, and traveling at 18,400 miles per hour. But it's going to blow past us at 3 million miles an hour, away from the Earth core, whatever. Well, like LL Cool J, this asteroid will make a comeback in 2044. I know I'm way off this week, folks. I'm so sorry. A Florida man was arrested this week for pelting his girlfriend with McDonald's sweet and sour packets. And what was the reason for this? Because he bought the wrong food. She bought the wrong food back home from McDonald's, the felony battery complaint said. So think about that. If you get a Big Mac and you end up with a McChicken, it's probably not a good idea to start beating your girlfriend with the hamburger, the sweet and sour packets, or really anything that's in the bag, because that's going to basically bag you a felony battery complaint. Oh, Florida. Oh, Florida. Maybe just start looking at a California man. I mean, whenever I watch these Joe Rogan podcasts, they're always ragging on these Florida man stories. I don't know why I'm being so defensive. I'm not from here. I don't take any personal pride or insult from these Florida man stories. It's kind of funny that all this crazy shit happens down here. But what can you do? Maybe we'll try a California man. I'm not going to promise anything. Well, it's no secret that immigration is an issue here in America. By the way, Mexico is paying for the wall. But in the UK, they don't need a wall. They need a net. Metro police were called to a residence in Clapham. Clapham? That's a town? It sounds like a venereal disease you can only get across the pond. Well, I'm sorry, my good man, but I cannot join you for a nightcap. I have Clapham. The disdain and disappointment as this news creates a fire in Nigel's britches. The Clapham is my bitch. Please, sire, let's have that nightcap. Anyway, the Bobbies couldn't ID the man, but believe he was, like these DACA kids in America, a bunch of stowaways. Or a stowaway, I should say. But it's believed that this guy's hiding inside of the landing gear, as this neighborhood is apparently on a landing route into Heathrow Airport, which is only about 6 miles away. But Joe, how do they know this guy is a stowaway? They found food and water in the front landing gear. Now, how the fuck did this guy not die from hypoxia? I mean, I doubt he was alive when he fell. There's not enough oxygen to get to the brain when you're above, like 10,000 feet? And this guy's flying from, Kenya? No way. I'm sure some poor... Well, so here's kind of what's unfortunate, I guess, depending on who's looking at the story. Some poor snowflake who was sunbathing was so traumatized he couldn't speak. Jesus, what a fucking drama queen. I've had soft serve ice cream harder than that soy boy snowflake. Moving on. Do you remember the 2016 election was only about a few months away? Hell, do you even remember the summer before? A litany of celebrities threatened to move to Canada. Pig-faced Rosie O'Donnell comes to mind. But if all these revisionist lefties wanted to move to Spain, Canada, Mexico, why not China? Well, I can think of one reason, and it's called the Beijing Bikini. In the city of Jinan, I think that's how you pronounce that, with a population of 8.7 million people, it's in the midst of a heat wave right now. And so are we here down in Florida. Good God. So in this Jinan province, the temperatures are averaging a leftist wet dream number of 96%, degrees. Men have taken to rolling up their shirts, exposing their midriffs, or in some cases going shirtless altogether. Now, most Americans listening to this are probably like, yeah, what's the big fucking deal? Well, unfortunately, these shirt-offs...
What's up, shirt-off?
...have now fallen out of favor with the local authorities. So last Tuesday, authorities in Jinan issued a notice ordering the public to not engage in shirt-off mode.
What's up, shirt-off?
...when they are in public places. Temperatures have been a sweltering 96 degrees in China, or in that province of China. So apparently this is a common practice through the communist country, but in Jinan, authorities are putting their foot down, or their shirts on. That works. Jinan authorities are on a crusade to end this uncivilized behavior of men loitering around the city shirtless or with their midriffs exposed while walking a dog, which I guess is a really big problem. They also are trying to crack down on public bickering. Wait, what? You can't argue with people in public? Wow! This and line cutting are all being targeted to enhance the image of the communist city. So I ask again to you American leftists who want to leave America for green pastures, is this the kind of government regulation you want to deal with on a day-to-day basis? I didn't think so. We're plowing ahead. So unless you were under a rock all last week or too busy blowing off fireworks next to your ears, hopefully you didn't miss this story that happened in Tempe where a Starbucks barista boots police officers because a customer did not feel safe around them. Some police officers in Tempe, Arizona say they were asked to leave a Starbucks shop on the 4th of July of all dates because a customer complained they did not feel safe with the cops present. I bet this snowflake mumbled to himself, That was a power move, as it pat itself on the back for harassing the persons who put their lives on the line on a daily basis to protect Softy McSoftersons from violent and petty crimes. Didn't feel safe? What does that even mean? Are you trying to tell me if there was a homeless man swinging a mace in the middle of the coffee house, ranting about how aliens from planets far and wide have convened in a tribunal rebuke of not only this homeless man's politics, but his consistent open disdain for the alien world's policies on extraterrestrial immigration? Greg, don't call the police. That's just Philip. He's harmless. But let me get this straight. 5 Tempe police officers walk into a Starbucks, are told to leave because a guest, not a customer, a guest. That's corporate speak for you. Customer is such a nasty word. A guest tells a barista they're uncomfortable and the barista asks the cops to leave. What? Huh? What? All I gotta say to those motherfuckers is they better hope no one robs that leftist revisionist coffee house. 911, what's your emergency? This is Zachary, and I'm a barista from the leftist revisionist coffee house, and we're being robbed. That's a shame. Click. Respect your police, you fucks, because that's a two-way street. And, just do me a favor, everyone. Just drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's way better, and honestly, it's anything better than Starbucks will ever put out. Give me a fucking break. Well, with that new Spider-Man reboot coming out this week, kind of made me think of something here. I mean, does anyone remember, Jake Gyllenhaal? The guy that was in, Bubble Boy, Brokeback Mountain to Nightcrawler. I guess you've probably heard that, playing Mysterio marks the Oscar-nominated actor's superhero movie debut. Wait, that's, are you forgetting that Jake Gyllenhaal actually starred in Kevin Smith and Michael Bay's 2007 Aquaman 2 as a Justice League member? Not ringing any bells? Well, I can't believe you don't remember the sequel to the highest-grossing film of all time. Let me refresh your memory. Back in 2005, a young rising actor named Vinny Chase was recruited into the superhero world by James Cameron, who was returning to the water for his Titanic follow-up, Aquaman. The trio of Chase, Cameron, and co-star Mandy Moore would result in the film breaking Spider-Man's then record for the biggest opening weekend in the box office history. Warner Brothers was so thrilled that it fast-tracked the sequel. But that wasn't good news for Vinny Chase, who was set on filming Medellin, a Pablo Escobar biopic that would eventually become an infamous flop. A battle ensued between WB and its star, resulting in Chase being replaced by none other than Jake Gyllenhaal, the rumored replacement for Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2. Well, the bad news for Gyllenhaal was that this accelerated timetable also meant Cameron was out, leading to the Clerks 2 mastermind Kevin Smith penning the script for Bad Boys 2 visionary Bay to direct. We don't know much about how Aquaman 2 performed at the box office, but it clearly didn't reach the heights of its predecessor since Gyllenhaal had only one turn as Arthur Curry before the franchise was rebooted with Jason Momoa in 2018 billion-dollar hit. Perhaps the failure of Aquaman 2 can be best summed up by Entourage creator Doug Ellen, who was instrumental in creating the first film. I thought Aquaman sounded the most ridiculous movie in the world, and to me the only way to make it work was if James Cameron was directing it. Okay, obviously this is what we would call satire news. It's not fake, technically. I wish I could take credit for writing most of that. That was actually written by Derek Lawrence for Entertainment, and yes, that is probably a leftist rag. So that was just a little fun. Okay, plowing ahead. Researchers are saying that German cockroaches, like Democrats, are developing a cross-resistance to insecticides, or as I like to say, they're both impossible to kill. Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't kill Democrats. They're really nice people. We're all one of the same. This is just a joke. Don't listen to me. I mean, listen to me, but don't listen to... Anyway, plowing ahead here. German cockroaches are developing a cross-resistance to insecticides. Well, that's interesting. Because have they developed a resistance to the human boot? Sheesh. Okay, like I said, this is a short and quick one, guys. Let's get to the staff report.
In my hand, I hold the staff.
All right, well, Disney is basically sowing discord to sell movies these days. If you haven't noticed or been on Facebook, everything is basically being taunted by this decision to cast Ariel as a... was she biracial or is she black? I can't remember. But so Disney has casted, I forgot her name, Haley something, as the new Ariel in the live action The Little Mermaid, and it's kind of set the internet ablaze, if you will. Now, if depending on where you fall here, I personally believe that the media is just trying to push this narrative that we live in this racist society where people can't tolerate the fact that a cartoon is going to be black now. It's just fake. No one gives a shit. What you're seeing is people, basically just ragging on the fact that what Disney's trying to do. Let's take, a character who is made up and then, change her race. It's really not that big of a deal, but the reaction to it is funny. So you see all these memes on Facebook. I think so far my favorite one was, someone took Air Bud and just made it like a black lab. That was all right. I think someone took Steve Martin put him on a Martin poster. I mean, it just keeps going. But what's the point of this? I mean, there's a few things I don't even have an issue with it. It's just hilarious to me that, first of all, Disney's just uncreative. I mean, what are they doing? Let's make live remakes of cartoons we made 25 years ago. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I'm all for nostalgia. I get it. Some of these reboots like Cobra Kai, I'm a big fan of. Fuller House, the last season's coming out. I like that too. But none of these used to be cartoons. You know what I mean? I get the technology's there and you want to redo. I mean, it's just obviously a money grab for Disney. And they're just trying to, sprinkle it with some nostalgia. And then, hey, I got an idea. This works for Facebook. Let's sow discord into the whole thing. Your left-wing progressive politics can suck my fucking dick, Disney. We're moving on here. Okay, so Marvel's first openly trans actor calls for more portrayals of trans actors. Zach Barak. So that's a girl, right? Technically. All right, we're just going to call it a shim because this is too confusing for Joe. I'm old. Excuse me. Zach Barak said there needs to be more roles for trans people in all sorts of movies. Fuck this shim fuck. Your inclusive goal is bullshit. This is you propagating a movement to shut out people who don't use their sexuality to secure jobs. If you really cared about this inclusion that you speak so highly of, it wouldn't matter who or what was in the movie. All I'm saying is, if we're celebrating a woman ref, a trans person in a movie, etc., 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 are we really moving forward? Wouldn't we all agree that the day we get there is the day a trans person, a woman, a shim, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, gets the part or job and it's not reported on CNN or Page 6? Or any other of these leftist Nazi rags propagating this heterophobic rhetoric? Go fucking fuck yourself, you fucking centennials. I'm a little fired up! And we got one more story to get through here. Alright, here we go. What is the hard right and its factions? And this is a legitimate question. You always hear about the left talking about, the hard right, the hard right, the hard right. So, you got white nationalists on the right side. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because if they're Nazis, if I read you the Nazi Party platform, you'd think I was reading the Green New Deal from AOC. Okay, that's a little bit of an overstatement. But my point is, they wanted universal health care, but for some reason, the Nazis are on the hard right? What? I mean, what is the hard right? And which factions of the Republican Party is within it? And don't tell me conservatives. Conservatives are equal to liberals. They are equivalent to each side. Conservatives want a small government. Liberals want more government. Conservatives are fiscally frugal. Liberals want every entitlement program. So I ask again, what and who is the hard right? I mean, they do have the Freedom Caucus. Those are a bunch of conservatives that stalled the repeal of Obamacare after basically running on it for the last from 2010 to 2016. Go ahead, take a second and think about it. Give me factions, give me names, and while you mill that over, I pose this question, which I'll answer as well. What and who is the hard left? Progressive Democrats with socialistic policies? But Joe! What about the factions? You mean like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar? Do you see who these candidates are pandering to? We're going to move a little forward while you still attempt to find a faction on the Republican side that panders to authoritarianism. And you're adult if you start shouting, Trump! Trump! The progressive left has hijacked the Democrat Party. So all these leftist Democrats, these revisionist fucks, they can scream and yell about Trump all they want. They can call for universal health care. They can give illegal immigrants free health care while taking away your private insurance. And by the way, does anyone else remember when 2017 happened, how everyone was freaking out about the Republicans repealing Obamacare? Well, now the Democrats have basically fallen on that side. They're not only going to take away your health care, they're going to give it to illegal immigrants for free. So all these leftist Democrats, the hard left, if you will, are loaded with these factions that are slowly tearing apart the party, which it's like a cancer. They're going to destroy the Democrat Party, or at least pull it so far left they're going to be irrelevant. And then what? Maybe it will go to a three-party system, but that third party, if it's these socialist leftist Democrats, they're never going to come into power. They won't. And you could say what you want about the Republicans, but at least they got the motherfucking White House in this hostile takeover. I'm Joe Persinger, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. Oh, God damn it. You're right, Klaus. All right, quick reminder for everyone to hit the like button on our Ready, Set Facebook page. Subscribe to the podcast on Mixcloud, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, even though YouTube is probably going to silence the fuck out of me. Please rate us on Apple Podcasts. Every review helps. And please share this with anyone. Or, share it. Fuck it. That's it for this week. I'm your host, Joe Persinger. This is your one-stop shop current events and politics podcast. If society's a joke, then we're just here for this first set. We'll see you next week, you fuck.
Thanks for listening to the Ready, Set podcast. Check us out next week, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and look for us on our YouTube channel, Ready, Set Podcast.